But my top rated book on confidence is called The Super You. I'm sending it to you, physical book, free. Go to the link down there. You got it.
DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Let's talk fundamentals. Fundamentals are the basic building block skills of anything that you do. You've heard of fundamentals. If you are an athlete, of course, you've had a trainer or a coach, and if you ever had one, I was going to tell you, we got to focus on fundamentals. Hopefully they told you that. When you learn how to play, you were taught the fundamentals of anything that you do, any sport that you play, any business that you're in, any skill that you want to develop. There are some fundamentals that you need to understand. Now, I'm not here to explain what those are because all of you do different stuff, but I'm here to explain to you why the fundamentals are as important as they are. Because the fundamentals can be boring, right? They can be tedious. You're doing the same things over and over again. It's not that exciting. There's nothing sexy or entertaining about drilling the fundamentals, but I make this video so you understand why the fundamentals are the fundamentals, why they became the building block, the foundation of anything you're going to do successfully. Number one, you got to know the rules of any game that you get into. So anything you're getting in, if you want to be a swimmer or you want to build buildings, you got to know what the rules of the game are. When I say the rules of the game, I mean what are the things that you absolutely must do and what things must you absolutely adhere to make sure you can do this successfully. Now, of course, we know there are many different ways to build a building, right? That building looks different from that one, looks different from that one. There's different ways you can make them look, but there are some fundamentals that anyone building any building have to adhere to. Otherwise, the building is not going to stand up and it's going to collapse. People are going to die and somebody's going to get sued for a whole lot of money. Some of the fundamentals are what's the foundation of the building? What needs to be underneath the ground for this to even be possible, right? What kind of clearances do we need to get and approvals do we need to get from the city or the inspectors in order to keep building above a certain height? You know, what kind of concrete do we got to use? What kind of glass can we put in the windows, being that we're in Miami and a storm might come through? So what kind of glass do we put in the windows so just in case a storm comes, the glass doesn't break and we don't have glass flying all around the city? So there are certain basic fundamentals that every building has to follow no matter what. Basketball players, we got different shapes and sizes of players, right? And different players got different skill sets and different ways that they play the game. However, you can only take 2 steps after you pick the ball up. And this is where you insert the LeBron James joke or the James Harden joke about traveling. You have to, you can't excessively make contact with somebody, otherwise they're gonna call it a foul, right? You can't abuse the officials verbally or they're gonna call a technical foul on you. If the ball has to go in the basket for you to get points. Basket's always 10 feet high, no matter where you play, at least on a regulation court. So there are certain fundamentals, the rules of the game. That's what I mean. So it can be an actual game rules, and metaphorically it means the things that everybody has to adhere to no matter what your style is, even if you're doing something different than the average person, even if you're doing something that's off the beaten path. So know the rules of the game. Number 2, you must drill the fundamentals until you cannot mess them up. See, a person who's an architect, who's used to building, there's a building being built here. If you follow me on IG or Snap, you've been seeing me post snaps of this building. All these construction workers are working on this building right now. Whoever is in charge of building that building has probably built buildings before, because this is a pretty tall building. It can be bigger than everything around here, bigger than where I'm at. That person probably has some experience. They probably understand these fundamentals so well that they don't even need to look at the paperwork and read it all over again, because they've done it so many times that they know it off the top of their head. They couldn't possibly mess it up because they know it that well. And the skill that it takes to get there is called discipline. Discipline is a skill. It's a choice and it's a skill at the same time. And it's your ability to stick to those basic building blocks and keep working on them and keep doing them over and over and over again until you can't possibly mess them up. There was a basketball coach named Larry Brown. He used to coach the Sixers back when Allen Iverson was playing. And they said in his training camps, all he would do at the beginning of training camp, he would have the players do the most basic fundamental stuff like footwork. This is the way I need you to use your feet when you throw a pass into the post. This is the way I want you to play defense when you're two passes away from the ball. Here's the way that I want you to throw a pass. Phil Jackson, same thing. They would work on that triangle offense with Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Kobe and Shaq. He would go through the fundamental basic stuff from the beginning of training camp. This is the way you set a screen. This is where your feet need to be when you set the screen. This is the way you move when somebody makes contact with you. This is how you post up. This is the way you pass the ball. This is where your elbows need to be. The real basic stuff. And you got to be disciplined enough as a player or as the person who's doing it to keep doing these fundamentals until you can't get them wrong. Then you can build on top of that with the more sexy, exciting stuff. So you got to be disciplined enough to do that. And number 3, why does all this matter? It's because fundamentals are the foundation of your house. Like I said, this building that I'm in right now, I'm on a pretty high floor. If the person who built this building did not pay attention to the fundamentals, didn't care, and didn't drill them in properly with the right discipline, this building might collapse in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping, and I'm probably not going to survive the collapse of this building because of how far I'm going to fall and all the concrete is going to fall on top of me when I get to the bottom of that building. So the foundation of whatever you're building, whether that's a career, if you're trying to start a business, anything that you're doing, the fundamentals are the foundation. If your fundamentals are not right, no matter how pretty everything is up top, that thing's going to collapse, it's going to fall down, and everybody's going to die, including you. And if you happen to survive, people are going to sue you so much that you're going to go bankrupt anyway. You're going to go poor, broke, and bankrupt. Now, because bankrupt, you can still have money. But you're going to be poor, broke, and bankrupt if you don't have those foundations, that foundation in place, meaning you don't have the fundamentals in place. So this is why the fundamentals matter. If you didn't know, now you know. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.